Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. A happy Monday to you. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
Good morning. Happy Monday indeed. I am Philip Simon.
And of course, it's our pleasure to be in your company this Monday. We hope you had a restful and enjoyable weekend. Phil, after we spoke on Friday, getting news that our new Prime Minister had extended those emergency orders while my husband and I were out enjoying our date night. We said, woo, let's do something. And we sure went bed by 9:30. So, we've been conditioned. And the wiles of staying out until 11:59 no longer suit our needs. So there's that.
It's funny, I was out as well, and news travels like at lightning speed in our country, right? And so you're like, my goodness, okay, so everybody's packing up and getting ready to go, and it's like, wait a minute, you got 3 more hours. What do you do with it? It's like, what do you do now, right?
What we gonna do this week? We was like, no, we have to go somewhere, and we tried to drive up the road, and we say we ain't going away, and we were like, no, we got going home.
Boy, but I tell you what an interesting weekend. Of course, condolences goes out to the family of Reverend Timothy
Stewart. Yeah, Reverend Timothy Stewart. Yeah.
Just death is a part of life, right? And I just want to really recognize him this morning. Such a wonderful, wonderful man. I saw, all the condolences, and, one person said he was just born to preach, right? And it's so much more than that, but I do understand that feeling as you do as well. So definitely condolences to the entire family.
Indeed, we send our condolences to the entire family, including our own Gandhi Pinder. You guys would know Gandhi from the show. She comes on as a host on occasion, and so that is her uncle. And so as an entire Bahamas and Sunrise family, we extend our condolences to her and her family on the passing of Reverend Timothy Stewart. Certainly a force to be reckoned with there at Bethel Baptist Church, and he will be missed. He will be missed by his children and, of course, the wider community in that Bean and Grantstown area. And so we extend our love and prayers to that family this morning. And then, of course, many changes happening over the weekend from a political standpoint. Our Prime Minister and Deputy Prime Minister being sworn in over the weekend, with news that 8 more appointments ought to come today as the cabinet begins to fill up and we continue on with the transition of government. And so all of that happening, and we'll, of course, be discussing some of that this morning.
I smiled as over the weekend, I passed the office of the Prime Minister, and I saw all the cars lined up, all the senator cars and B cars. And I'm like, wow, new day, new day.
It is fleeting. I remember when Michael Pintard had come in to do an interview with us very early on, and as the new minister at the time. And I think it was you, Phil. I said, man, where's your car? Where's your driver? And he said, I don't get used to things that can be taken away. And I think he's a very wise man.
Very wise
because
man.
Indeed, the times have changed.
Yeah, and I had an opportunity, as you did. I think you were able to go to a swearing in of the Prime Minister. I went to the Deputy Prime Minister to support my friend Chester Cooper, and there was an atmosphere in there. I will not lie. Obviously, with these things comes lots of jubilation and cheering, and but the ballroom was filled, and just so very happy, for Chester and Cecile and just so very proud of those accomplishments, and of course our Prime Minister as well. Just looking forward to all of the things. I mean, obviously lifting that curfew was it sounds simple, but the feeling was just anyway, new day.
Indeed. I think the very best part for me, and I know we'll have to move on quickly, in going to his inauguration of sorts, his installation ceremonies, was to hear him speak about who he has been in his life. And he said in a portion of his speech, that I was a child in Cat Island who wasn't always sure about what my next step would look like. And so what I know what it's like to be a young person and to kind of be, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, but I don't know it verbatim, but I know what it is to stand on the outside as a child looking in and wanting to know what educational opportunities were next, but not feeling like I had access to them. And I know what it is to be a young lawyer and trying to work, but feeling like I don't have connections, and to stand outside again and see what I couldn't reach. And then, I know what it is to be a father and have 6 kids and then make mistakes. And so now I know as a parent what it's like to try to look back on that and manage. And so because of these things, I think I would be a good leader for this nation. And so I like that concept of the person that has had these experiences, I think, and then bringing them to the fore to now try to bring us all together. I thought that was a very powerful way of phrasing it. And so I wish this administration well. I would hope that everybody watching is not in the dark about where we are, right? That Moody's downgrade certainly came up the day after our election. And so we know that this is not an easy road ahead. So I would hope that even in spite of the jubilation, the celebration for those who would have worked as campaign people, as personnel, and then those who just know these gentlemen personally and are celebrating them for the victory in their own individual lives. Yeah. Wherever you stand in this, even if you are mourning today or upset that it's not your government, I want us to recognize that as a nation, we ought to be moving forward together, both in prayer and in service, doing our part, because this is a very hard road ahead. No matter who would have taken the helm, we are in dire economic straits. We'll talk about that today. And we also, of course, are still in a health crisis. And so it was an enjoyable weekend to be out until 11:59, but I'm certain that those are going to change this week as the Minister of Health gets into place, as this government really takes the helm, recognizing that we've got to put an end to this pandemic. Several more deaths happening last week. And it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So a very somber new day indeed.
Yeah, no doubt. And we have to do it together, right? Because indeed it is our government. May not be the party of choice for many people, but it is our government. Listen, Bahamas Sunrise is here. It's live. We've got another great show lined up for you. Open Systems Technology is here to talk about an exciting new business solution, as always, when Peter's on the show. And also we'll review election results with Quincy Parker and CA Newry in our Roundtable segment.
We're also going to be talking to Stride Prosthetics this morning about some of the products they now have available in the Bahamas. And we will review the PLP strategy for reviving the economy in our Economic Pulse segment. I also want to remind all of you that coming up tonight is the Demystifying COVID webinar with various community leaders breaking down the facts about the disease and the vaccine. Of course, you can sign up to attend on Zoom. We get started tonight at 7 o'clock p.m. Should be done by about 8:30. And you simply go to tclevents.com to make that happen. Before we get into any of today's great show, though, we're going to take a first look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Star, and good morning, Bahamas. And your first look at weather: sunrise, moist, unstable MRS, along with an upper level trough, will generate showers and thunderstorms across the islands through Wednesday. Those showers becoming heavy at times, creating flooding in low-lying areas, and those thunderstorms could be severe at times. So be cautious as you go today. Today, variable cloudiness, hot and humid, with scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms, high temperature 90, heat index 102. Tonight, partly cloudy and warm, with scattered showers, isolated thunderstorms, the low going down to 74 degrees Fahrenheit. And some regional highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 89 and 79. In Jamaica, 86 and 76. In Trinidad, 87 and 78. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 90 and 75. Across North America, Atlanta, 80 and 68. In Raleigh, 85 and 65. In Miami, 89 and 78. Dallas, Texas, 89 and 74. And Toronto, Canada, 76 and 65. Over the next 5 days, moist and stable mass, along with an upper level low, will continue to have cloudy skies with scattered showers and thunderstorms into Wednesday. We expect some improvement by Thursday going into the weekend. Low temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s to lower 90s at daytime and the mid-70s at nighttime. If that puts you up in your first look at weather at sunrise, I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. Open Systems Technology wants you to go digital and take your business Global. Here to talk with us once again is Peter Bridgewater. He's President CEO of Open Systems Technologies. Listen, I had to go deep in my closet this morning and pull out one of my best jackets because I knew he was going to be on the show. Good morning, Peter. Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. Thank you.
Listen, so you are talking this morning about identity verification service and solutions. There's always something new at Open Systems Technologies, but what exactly is this?
Well, what this new product and new service that we're looking to provide is an identity verification service. And it's by a new fintech company. It's been in business for a while, and they've just recently won Best Banking Technology and Best Technology in Banking and Finance for this solution. It enables businesses to be able to verify their customers. It's a digital KYC, know your customer, know your business, and anti-money laundering screening solution.
So I think the company's name is Shifty Pro. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Shifty Pro.
And I see here it's recognized as the best digital KYC onboarding application in Europe 2021 and the best new anti-fraud and security solutions provider in Cyprus 2021. What exactly makes this technology just so great?
Well, what this technology enables and what it uses state-of-the-art biometric facial recognition technology with 3D deep screening that will be able to provide a more higher level of a confirmed identification. All right, we know that the facial recognition went through some changes, but what Shifty Pro has been able to do is specialize in this and improve on the technology to be able to get very good, reliable hits. And I've been testing it now for about 6 months with our identity documentation, and it works flawlessly. Okay, it enables businesses to be able to seamlessly onboard their customers.
And, you know, when you talk about facial identity, it's always funny. I have 2 girls, and they kind of look similar. And the eldest one took my second daughter's phone, iPhone, I should say. And she was able to unlock that with her face, which drove my second daughter crazy, of course. But, you know, when you talk about being able to employ the best technology, facial, and even in the banking system, there's a 2-step process. How do you prevent things like that from happening, particularly in this space where it's so critical?
Well, what the process really is we have a number of steps that the business can use. One, to go along, you would upload either your passport or your driver's license or any government ID that has a picture on it. And then secondly, once that is up and verified against verification in 230 countries, over 3,000 IDs and documents, and via 1,700 watch lists, PPE checklists, and global sanctions lists and criminal databases.
Okay.
It checks that, it verifies it, and then the software asks you to take a selfie. And this is where the magic happens. And so with taking that selfie, smiling or however, all right, then that selfie is, and that facial, your face is then matched back through the 3D biometric technology back to your document. And then it verifies that you are who you say you are.
Yeah. You know, we talk about KYC all the time, and of course, anti-fraud technologies, which we're discussing here today. Why is this such a good thing for businesses? It might seem cumbersome, it might seem time intensive. The process might sound a little complicated. It's not really, but it really is good for businesses at the end of the day.
Yeah, well, it's in under 30 seconds to about 60 seconds, you have a document verified. You have been able to check through different watch lists, okay? And then in our KYB solution, it gives a verification of over 200 million businesses in 140 jurisdictions in 100 countries. So when it does the search, it really checks to match to ensure that the potential for fraud, the verification of who you're doing business with is very accurate and is verified. All right.
Yeah, and of course, that's a really good thing at the end of the day. How can persons learn more about this from Open Systems Technology? How can they get this service actually? And then tell us really quickly what's new, because I know something is always new and there's so many other solutions at OPS.
Well, we're about to launch on October 1. We'll have 2 websites because we also intend to roll it out to the Caribbean because we're looking for population. The Bahamas is about 400,000, and the Caribbean, where we're in discussions now, we are looking to reach out to about 44 million people. And having a true identity that builds trust is very important. And so KYC and compliance is key for businesses, customers, to ensure that their IDs are just correct. Now, how they can be able to access our service very shortly. We will have 2 websites. One will be eBahamas-IDV, which stands for Identity Verification, and one will be eCaribbean-IDV. And so we, as I indicated, we are looking to reach out to the Bahamas as well as the Caribbean because we've already have in discussions with regards with other businesses to be able to roll this out. And we're looking for this to be a software and a solution that will enable the region, not only just the Bahamas, to raise its awareness in terms of KYC and compliance globally, as well as the ease of doing business.
Absolutely. Open Systems Technologies wanting you to go digital and, of course, take your business global. Love that. Peter Bridgewater, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We've been with Open Systems Technologies. We'll be right back.
Shifty Pro. Verify anyone, anytime, anywhere, and prevent fraud. Shifty Pro provides a digital identity verification solution that helps you verify onboarding customers in less than 30 seconds. Its services include KYC identity verification, AML screening, biometric authentication, and Know Your Business. Whether you are a financial institute, real estate, crowdfunding platform, healthcare, gaming, or education sector, Shifty Pro has got you covered against online frauds. Shifty Pro's AI-driven verification service quickly connects with your app or service to verify your customer's identity. With just an ID scan and a live selfie, we help build trust between you and your customer. Shifty Pro. True identity builds trust.
First, it's more than just our name, more than just our achievements. It's our nature, and it's where we put our customers. At Bahamas First, we've refreshed our look, but our nature remains the same. We design insurance solutions that protect our customers from life's uncertainties, whatever they may be. We equip you for the future so that you can recover stronger. Bahamas First, what's first for you comes first for us.
Doctors Hospital is proud to introduce the Loyalty Advantage Membership Program, or LAMP. LAMP offers medical service discounts to new and existing Doctors Hospital patients. With membership starting as low as $20 per month, LAMP benefits include fee waivers for insured patients, discounts on inpatient and outpatient services, access to free imaging services, and much more. For a full list of benefits or to sign up for LAMP, visit doctorshos.com/LAMP. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Our world has changed. Many businesses have been closed for months with little or no access to their customers until now. Rev Media can help you remain connected to your customers. Our trusted customized advertising packages and personalized consultants will provide your business with immeasurable support during this challenging time. Your customers are already watching. Rev Media can help you to remain connected. Call us today. Let us help you.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Maximizing prosthetic benefits with iFit Prosthetics is an event coming up on Thursday at Genesis Physiotherapy, hosted by Stride Prosthetics. Here to tell us more, we're very happy to welcome Suzanne Watts. She's a certified prosthetist, Stride Prosthetics. Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us to learn more about what you do. And of course, I think many of us would know why it's important, but just kind of learning more about the access that we get to this sort of information. And we're really happy that you're here. The first thing I want to learn about is, what is Stride Prosthetics?
Well, Stride Prosthetics is a prosthetics company located in Barbados. So we're a regional clinic and we provide full prosthetic services for our patients there. But our goal is to also offer prosthetics to the region, because we know that there is a lack of prosthetic care and services throughout the region. So we're just really trying to provide accessibility for all amputees in the region.
All right, that's an honorable mission, I would think, and one that I'm sure could certainly be used here. And so why are you partnering with Genesis Physio?
Okay, so we also would like to let Bahamas know that we do have a partnership with a company called the iFit Prosthetics LLC, and they are the manufacturers of a new innovative prosthetic technology. It's called the iFit Prosthetics, and what that is an adjustable socket. So it's an immediate fit adjustable prosthetic. So we would have been able to make contact with Genesis Physiotherapy, and they were really interested in having the product here for amputees in Bahamas, because they know the need to have options for many of these amputees. So we will be partnering with them to provide the iFit prosthetics for our Bahamian amputee community.
All right. And so why do you think iFit, in terms of a brand itself, in terms of prosthetics, why do you think iFit is superior to maybe some of the other prosthetics on the market?
Well, definitely for the most part, we provide conventional prosthetics, which are custom made for the patient. But due to different reasons, the renal diseases and issues that they have with, for instance, diabetes mellitus, there's so many different changes in the residual limb. So the conventional socket that would have been made for them at their initial fitting, they have challenges with it as time goes on. You know, the stump changes, etc. So then the socket doesn't fit the same. So patients are then forced to deal with pain and discomfort, not being able to wear the prosthetic, or have a prosthetic that is really too large for them. So with the iFit, they're able to adjust the prosthetic as their limb changes. So that is where the game changes for them, you know, so they're always able to achieve the right fit, right now each day.
All right, and that makes sense. I do know someone that uses the prosthetics and had the opportunity to work with her for several months. And so I would remember on certain days when she just wouldn't wear it. She'd say it was hurting too much. It was very painful. And so it's good to know that they've got these alternative solutions now. And of course, we want to figure out how they get with you. How can they connect with you? And there's something special happening on Thursday. So tell us about that.
Yes, please. So on Thursday, we're actually going to be having an open day presentation where vaccinated persons can come to Genesis Physiotherapy Clinic, and they can actually see the product, be able to gain more knowledge about it. So I'll be there to share my insight, because apart from being a regional distributor of the iFit prosthetics, I myself fit my patients with iFit prosthetics. So I get hands-on, information and feedback, and be able to see the really significant benefits that the system has for many of these amputees. So on Thursday, the 23rd, I believe, of September, at 12:30 until 1:30, the public is free to join us. You just have to wear your mask and respect all the protocols, and we've asked that vaccinated persons join the presentation.
All right. And, is the event geared toward a specific population? So will it be disabled friendly in terms of, I guess, maybe the way that, things are laid out? Is it only for that population? Is it for people who maybe care for these patients? Who should attend this event on Thursday?
Oh, anyone, absolutely anyone interested. We can have doctors, surgeons, amputees themselves, family, friends, anyone who wants to gain insight and experience this new technology, you are welcome to join us.
All right. And how can people get more information about these products? I mean, obviously, you are coming from Barbados. It's a regional effort that you're making to try to get this into as many hands as possible and to help those that need it. Will they be able to purchase right away on Thursday, or will they just be in contact with you then after? How does that actually work?
Yes, please. On Thursday, you can come and express your interest. We hope to come back probably within the next month or so to be able to fit those patients who are interested. To find more information, you can contact me. It's Stride Prosthetics. Our website is www.strideprosthetics.com. strideprosthetics.org. We're also on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn at Stride Prosthetics. And you can also contact Genesis Physiotherapy. They are located on Grosvenor Close West, and that's right here in Nassau, Bahamas. And their contact number is 242-356-4806. And that's Genesis Physiotherapy, and they can assist as well with getting the information to patients.
Awesome. All right. So the event happens this Thursday, September 23rd. You get started at 12 noon, should be done by about 1:30. And they'll have the opportunity to meet you, Miss Suzanne Watts, and of course, to learn more about what you do with iFit at that event. Do they need to register in advance, or can they just show up?
No, please, you can just show up. It's free and open to all.
Excellent, excellent. Well, we want to thank you so much for joining us today. We hope that you truly, have enjoyed this experience. You've enjoyed learning more about your product and what it is that you do. And we look forward to a successful event for you this Thursday.
Thank you so much. And thank you, Bahamas at Sunrise.
You're very welcome. You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Dr. Wanda Rogers.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ranga.
Hi, I'm Dr. Valencia Johnson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Munish Sharma.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jazreel Thompson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bonami.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rajesh Pahawa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Therese Nairn Knowles.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alpheus Alik,
Director of Ambulatory Services at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the consultant surgeon here at Doctors Hospital.
I'm a pediatrician here at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the director of imaging at Doctors Hospital.
An anesthesiologist here at Doctors Hospital.
Infectious diseases physician.
I'm radiologist at Doctors Hospital.
Emergency room physician here at Doctors Hospital.
And I'm clinical director of the Emergency Transport Services and Continuing Medical Education here at Doctors Hospital.
I am vaccinated against COVID-19.
I have been fully vaccinated for COVID-19.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
And I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID.
I'm fully vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I hope you are too.
Are you?
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 Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We're at the halfway point on this marvelous Monday. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
And I'm Philip Simon.
And of course, it's our pleasure to still be in your company. We're so happy that you're still with us. We hope that you enjoyed the first part of the show and that you're looking forward to, I guess, more of a political part of the show to come, Phil.
Yes, we'll be reviewing these election results with Quincy Parker and C.A. Newry in our Roundtable segment. Should be an interesting dialogue. I mean, so much to unpack. If I was a political science student, this is a study that will keep me going for the next 5 years, actually.
So I did have the privilege of studying political science. That is what my background is in terms of my degrees. And I will tell you that it's really not that interesting. When I say that, I mean, like, it comes down to, I think with the bigger, I guess, scientist overview would be the waves, right? And the fact that we see this entire voting out and this entire voting in and less of a balance. But even then, I think you can sum it back up to a very small size population. And so when you have factors like people not showing up to vote, it's going to have an influence on what happens. I know we've been doing a comparison based on what's been going around on social media on the percentage that voted in 2017 versus 2021. I would like to have seen some data going back to 2012 as well, just to see if what that would look like in terms of percentage, because it could very well be that the significant amount of people that came out to outvote the previous administration, which we knew was very, people aggressively wanted that particular administration gone in 2012, whether or not some of those aggressive people that really wanted them gone just stayed home, right? Or who stayed home based on who was there in 2007. So you need a bit more data to make that sort of analysis. But, you know, I'm sure you're going to have a great conversation with Quincy and CA. They always have such good feedback.
Yeah, no doubt. And I'm pretty sure in our Economic Pulse segment with Hubert Edwards and Karlos Mackey, you also will break down the government's new economic plan. Those two speakers are always a wealth of information.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I will admit that I look forward to hearing some more because based on what the government has said, I don't know how they're going to pull it off and do it. So I'm happy to see what Karlos and Hubert have to say on the matter and whether or not what the government says is possible is possible. You know, I guess that they all know things we don't know. And so that's going to be a great conversation as well. Yeah.
But before we get to that, we're going to take a look with weather at sunrise with Godfrey Burnside. It certainly has been raining a lot, Scott.
It has been, you know, a friend of mine said that maybe it's even the heavens outing the torch, but then another friend responded, it could be God crying. So, you know, who knows? Nevertheless, the rain continues. And here is Godfrey Burnside with our first look at weather.
Weather at sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Okay, the next segment's here, and I'll let them in.
All right. Oh, shit. Morning.
Good morning.
How are you guys?
Us guys.
Yes, how are you guys?
Oh, how are we guys? I'm sorry. My bad, fella. I'm well. How are you?
Great. CA.
I'm always good. I'm just trying to make sure I'm connected properly. That's why it's delayed.
Miles per hour, and is moving towards the northwest at 15 miles per hour. We also have a tropical wave over the far eastern tropical Atlantic. This is about a 60% chance of tropical cyclone formation over the next 5 days. And have a non-tropical low, the remnants of tropical storm Odette, and that over the next 5 days has a 30% chance of regeneration just southeast of Newfoundland. Elsewhere, tropical storm formation expected during the next 5 days. On a local scene, moist and stable air mass, along with upper level trough, will generate showers and thunderstorms across the islands through Wednesday. In your marine forecast, Wednesday easterly at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet, but you can expect gusty winds and higher seas and locally heavier showers and thunderstorms. On Tuesday, continue easterly at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet. On Wednesday, east to southeast at 10 to 15 knots, sea 2 to 4 feet, with winds falling light and variable at times. Your tides. You can expect a high tide at 8:03 this morning. Next low tide will be at 2:15 this afternoon. High gain this evening at 8:24. Sunset will be at 7:06 this evening. Rising one at 6:58. UV index 8. Your water temperature 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Any moon phase, full moon. Your extended look. That moist and stable last lows that upper level trough will continue with cloudiness through Wednesday with showers and thunderstorms. Like I said, some becoming heavier at times and also causing flooding in low-lying areas. By the weekend, we expect to have a mix of sun and clouds. Less shower activity. The temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s to lower 90s at daytime and the mid-70s at nighttime. As that puts you up in your front look at well at sunrise, I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. Listen, we are still fresh off the country's national elections, and there's a lot to dig into. I am not going to waste any time. I have Quincy Parker, talk show host, Guardian Radio, and C.A. Newry, political pundit, both of whom were part of official media coverage on election night. A lot to unpack, guys. Welcome back to the show. Good morning.
Morning to you, Phil. Let me say before anything else that jacket is killing it.
Thank you so much. So thank you so much. You know, I do my best. I've tried over the last several weeks not to wear anything red, gold, purple, green. See, I note your background is green this morning. Does that have any?
It just means that I am a loser, and nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you need humble pie in order to move forward. But I'm good.
Oh boy. Anyway, Quincy, let's begin, man. Did the people choose the PLP or did they reject the FNM?
The honest answer to that question. Now, I know what I'm expected to say, because but the honest answer to that question is the vast majority of the 65% of the electorate who came out chose the PLP. There are any number of other ways we could slice and dice it. We could talk about the fact that the FNM stayed home. We could talk about the fact that the Coalition of Independents totally replaced the DNA as a third option. And to such an extent that I don't know if Orinthia Komalafi, the leader of the DNA, got more than 100 votes. There are ways we could slice and dice it, but the answer is, of the people who voted, yes, those people chose the PLP.
They chose the PLP, and specifically, CA. Is it just a matter of choosing the PLP, or is it deeper than that and a rejection possibly of the former Prime Minister?
I believe it was a referendum. I believe it was a referendum versus Brave Davis and Hubert Minnis. And overwhelmingly, the people decided that they prefer a Brave Davis. And I think that it was a weighing of lesser of two evils. And because we had a narrative that people had issues with both leaders. And they came to a conclusion that they prefer one over the next, and they voted in mass. That is
not. Okay, sorry.
The numbers is clear. The numbers is clear.
The numbers are very clear. The numbers are very clear.
Was rejected, and I believe this come Monday you'll see that even his party will reject him, and that he will be second fiddle in the Honorable House of Assembly moving forward.
I don't disagree with much that
Don't
you
agree
said.
with me? I just try making sure that you agree with me.
Yes, I do.
Good.
Mostly.
So it didn't have anything really to do with, you believe these results would have been the same whether the election was held today, like it was, or maybe May of 2022?
No, I don't think the results would have been the same, number one. And number two, the challenge was on my show yesterday. I cussed out the FNM for staying home. And a couple of them cussed me back out because they were very plain. They're very clear. We do it again, because as long as Minnis is the leader, we would do it again. And I believe that ultimately is, aside from the fact that the majority of the voters who voted chose the PLP, the reason that they were the majority of voters, in my view, is because the FNM was rejecting Hubert Minnis. I see the loser with the green background shaking his head, but that's okay. I know I'm right.
I want to interject and say, thank God Chester Cooper was not the leader of the PLP, or we wouldn't have no opposition at all. It was going to be a full 39. So I'm grateful that Brave Davis was the leader of the PLP at this time, because democracy continues to reign.
Chester couldn't possibly be the leader of the PLP. He's an FNM.
Okay. But he's a PLP now. All the same. He wearing that yellow tie, that gold tie.
For the last 4.5 years, he's been a PLP and a solid one. I agree, yes.
Well, hey, listen, he's Deputy Prime Minister, but were there any surprises? Anything really jumped out at you? I mean, some people did not expect this level of rejection, even if they presumed that the PLP would win.
No, I saw the upswell and the increase of support of the PLP. I didn't anticipate it's going to be a wave. I didn't anticipate 32 seats. I was reckoning maybe 27, maybe 23. I thought it's going to be closer. And it's clear that I cannot view or anticipate waves at all. I was off, I was completely off. So I yield. I shouldn't be no prediction anymore. I leave that alone to Quincy, because Quincy has a better record at that.
Not this time, CA. I was Not only was I wrong, I was so wrong. I wasn't in the ballpark. I was playing a different sport.
Oh.
The first results that we saw was that Terrell won a polling division in Long Island. You could have knocked me over with a feather, because and at that point I knew that the election had gone to the PLP and that it was going to be a slaughter, because with the greatest of respect to my Long Island people, Long Island don't vote PLP. And for a whole polling division to go PLP is telling you something.
Yeah.
And that was my first and therefore only surprise of the night, because once I saw that, I understood, oh, well, it's over now.
You made an adjustment. Well, putting the feathers aside, CA, we're not going to knock Quincy over again this morning, but what do you think is going to be the forecast for the PLP for the first 90 days? And what's the best thing that they can do just out of the gate?
Definitely they should target low-lying fruits. I know the FNM was criticized for that when they won by a landslide. There were so many small things they could have accomplished and go about, in particular legislation, that the people were eager and anticipated about and was promised. And if the PLP follows that same trail and don't go after the low-lying fruit, right, then you will see that the temperature again will turn against them. So I would concentrate on all the small issues that and nuances people were complaining about, and just give it nonstop. And I see they started about curfew. People say, hey, they start celebrating the just simple of not being able to go home at 9 o'clock and now 12 o'clock to party. They have a lot of support already.
Quincy, I'll ask you the same question. I'll ask you a different question that might have the same answer, but what's the worst thing that this new administration can do?
The worst, okay. So there's a trend that has developed over the last 20 years in our politics: stop, review, and cancel. And I believe that is the worst thing that the Brave Davis administration can do. There are areas of our national development that have suffered because the Minnis administration did it, and because the Christie administration did it.
Yeah.
And because the second Ingram administration did it. And I think that it is entirely time for someone to break that cycle.
Yeah. So this morning, today actually, and this afternoon, there will be some appointments. What are your predictions, CA?
I'm going to take the easy one, Minister of Health. So I can stick with that. I even go as Foreign Affairs with Fred Mitchell. Minister of Health will be Dr. Darville. They're two safe things. I'm more interested in seeing where the 7 women in the PLP fits. I'm very eager to see that all of them play some major role in the cabinet or chairmanship.
No, come on.
These are all professional and women. There's no reason why they should not be in the 4. So I'll be watching that, and if it's not so, I shall be complaining, because I believe that this is an opportunity for the PLP to show that they support women. This is part of their platform.
They also have to govern.
That. And so we'll see if that happens. So
they also have to govern.
Seeing women play a major role in the cabinet.
Anyway,
Quincy, I would endorse that. I mean, do I disagree?
I don't necessarily disagree. What I'm saying is, and I think this is a part of what CA is saying, is the idea that gender is considered in terms of an influencing factor in cabinet appointments is part of what has been a problem for us. So I suppose to correct that deliberately by choosing women for cabinet posts is an acceptable and even an admirable thing. However, the man has to choose the most competent cabinet available, because he's in the middle of a pandemic, and because he's got all manner of other disaster-related issues to deal with. I think, for instance, Jo Beth Colebrook, I think she's going to Environment and Housing. I think she's going to make a good minister. I think Glenys Hannah Martin is going back to transport and local government. I think if they keep the Ministry of Grand Bahama, that's Ginger Moxie is an obvious choice for that ministry. And I've heard people say that Leslie Miller Bryce would be a good minister of social services. So I don't know. I mean, I think that there are certainly some natural, synergies there. But I just want to be careful that we before we consider quotas, we consider competence.
Yeah. But I'm happy that you chose 4 to 7 already. So that's a good sign. That's a good sign.
CA, going to give you the last word really quickly. What do you say now to the Bahamian people who've spoken? What else is there to say?
One thing I want to say is that first we need to give the PLP the opportunity to show what they plan to do, give them the opportunity for the first 100 days, but we shouldn't just be cheerleaders. This is an urgent time and a critical time in our history, and we need to be critiquing everything our government do, not because of politics, but just because the Bahamas needs to pivot and move forward. So this is not the time for cheerleading. This is a time to say, I like this, I do not like this, and we need to do better.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us. As always, I think we probably could have did a whole show on this. Quincy Parker, CA Newry.
Thank you very much, Phil. God bless.
It's a pleasure.
CA, you're wrong, but God bless you anyhow.
I'll see you on Sunday. That's what I say. See you on Sunday.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
One thing, two things, blue thing, old things, things that are small, things that are grand, things that fit just right, and in the palm of your hand. Fox Hill Nursery, a large selection of garden supplies. If you can see it in your mind, you can find it at Fox Hill Nursery.
The sports we play depend on the health we build. So let's stay healthy. Wear a mask and practice social distancing and hand washing to protect yourself and others. Remember, COVID-19 is not a game.
A public service message from the Bahamas Olympic Committee.
Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. We hope that you enjoyed that previous segment we had talking about the new election win. Of course, that was a lot more opinion and banter and experience in that segment. This segment, we're doing something a bit different. We're taking a look at the economics of it all. I have been saying continuously that the new day has dawned cloudy. We are in the worst economic times of our country's independent Bahamas, and certainly the PLP has made some very aggressive promises to the Bahamian electorate. Today, I want to discuss where do we go from here with Karlos Mackey. He's the president of Money Max and a principal with Prime Financing. And we've got our resident economic expert, Hubert Edwards. He, of course, is the principal of Next Level Solutions. HE, that's what I call Hubert Edwards affectionately. HE and Karlos, good morning and welcome to Bahamas Sunrise.
Certainly a pleasure.
Morning, sir. Morning, Hubert.
An absolute pleasure to have you both with us. Let's get straight into it. We don't have much time, but there's so much to cover. So looking at the PLP's Our Blueprint for Change document, they plan to reduce VAT from 12 to 10%, as well as provide additional VAT relief. Karlos, I will tell you, I am skeptical, don't know how it can happen. I believe them if they say they're going to do it, but I just don't know where the money is going to come up to be made up from. Talk to me, is this realistic? Can it happen and how?
I think it, in some respects, should happen. I'm actually a proponent of us trying to reconfigure our tax base altogether. I think over the last 20, 25 years, really, We have seen the Bahamian middle class hollow out, and a major part of that has been our tax policy. It is very hard for persons to live, and I think that this government coming in looking to provide relief to persons is going to be helpful. The very fact of the matter is the more money persons have to spend that is not being taxed, that's only going to help the economy. There are going to be multiplier effects. However, you cannot simply reduce taxes. You have to figure out where the growth is going to come from, where you're going to grow the tax base. So reducing taxes and supporting entrepreneurial growth, those two things have to go hand in hand. Yes, it is doable. Is it going to be easy? No, but it is doable. And I do think that they have to say what it's going to be paired with on the growth side.
All right, let's talk about that growth side, Hubert Edwards, because in addition to this plan to reduce VAT, which Karlos says is possible. Karlos is my friend. I take his word for it. So if he says it's possible, I believe him. The party pledges to address arrears with government vendors and salary arrears owed to public servants, increase pension for senior citizens, and push for minimum wage to be increased to $250 per week. Again, I see more expenditure here than I see income coming in, but I might be seeing it wrong. Hubert Edwards, is this realistic?
Realistic is something up for discussion. I think we have to be very, very, very fair and objective to this new administration. The plans that they put in the blueprint for change over 10 different items or 10 different areas, I think a lot of them are progressive. What we're dealing with, though, Star, is a very dynamic environment. As you would have noticed, on the very first day of this administration, Moody's downgraded the Bahamas. And that has fundamentally changed some of these plans. As you said, looking at them, we see a lot of expenditure. And these are things which need to be done. But it comes down to affordability. At this point in time, the Bahamas has an unfunded budget to the tune of $1.6 billion, of which 800 million of that is for repayment of loan to reschedule it. And we, at this point in time, is not sure exactly where that is coming from. The cost of borrowing just went up. So a number of these issues, on one hand, they should be done, they can be done, but they will take time. And I think, to be fair to this administration, they had the plans in place, they are now moving forward, they're now seeing changes, and we must expect that there are going to be adjustments. At the end of the day, though, as Karlos says, the bottom line for us going forward is how will we find growth in this economy in order to do these things. And the bottom line for the Bahamas, the whole idea of resilience and growth and that sort of thing, it only comes through strategic objectives, which is going to move us from this anemic 1 point something or less than 1 point something growth to a place where we find consistent growth. That's the only way it can be done.
All right, so Karlos, let's talk in terms of expenditure again, and let's go back. They also plan to stop financial leakage in our public sector. Nice statement. What is the plan? Like, do you think there is a way to actually do this? And how can we then hold them accountable to this notion of stopping the leakage in the public sector?
Well, I think leakage really depends on the way that you assess the public sector. You cannot really say that there's leakage if you're not sure what your public sector is supposed to be delivering. I think this government, as Hubert said, has to be given time in terms of, I'm not talking about a year or 2 years. I think you need to give them really 3 to 6 months. There really has to be a department by department analysis of what is this department's purpose in terms of when it was created. Is that purpose still relevant? And therefore, if that purpose is still relevant, what are the aims and objectives that are necessary for it today? Then you look at the staffing and the budget around that department and you make decisions from there. So yes, I do think that it is realistic that you have to look at leakages in the public service, but that in and of itself means that there's going to be an exercise of actually determining what the proper function of some of these public service departments really is. Unless you do that, if you continue to simply say that they exist for the sake of existing, I don't think that we're going to make progress. But if you actually go ahead and say, all right, we're going to review strategically how this department functions. Does it actually serve a purpose in today's Bahamas? Do we need to reconfigure it? Once you go through that exercise, I think they are going to be able to find savings.
Okay. Now, HE, one of the other things that they somehow will be spending on again is recommitting to providing affordable healthcare through NHI. Is this critical at this time, though?
It's very critical, and COVID-19 has shown us exactly where we are as a country. I think, we must give some kudos to Dr. Dwayne Sands, who's always been pushing this and trying to get the country to be sensitized as to the level of illness, if you will, where we are. Comorbidities has shown themselves up. The fact that the country is highly obese. And so this is if nothing else, this is one of the areas where we must spend in. Our healthcare infrastructure is significantly underwater, and we must do what is necessary to get it to a point of robustness. I just want to say is that, and I know that time doesn't permit us to go through all of this, but this blueprint for change is a 10-point plan, and it covers a number of issues in a number of areas where there isn't going to be direct expenditure as we are speaking about. And so consequently, what I would anticipate is that there may be a deprioritizing of some of the areas which have hard impact spending, and then you move to some of the ones which are more foundational and facilitative, and therefore the plan can work so that in the interim, as they work out the finances, the refunding, getting the loans and that sort of thing, things can move forward. And so I agree with Karlos. There is going to be a short period of time, not 5 years, not 3 years, but a short period of time in which they will be able to understand what's on the ground, get their house in order and start it up, because the stakes are high. Persons have significant amount of expectation from this administration. And so, yes, these things must be done, but we will see how we move forward.
All right, Karlos. And so one of the things the Coalition of Independents did, in addition to certainly having an impact on the way some of those groupings were voted in, is that they brought to the fore this need for the Sovereign Wealth Fund, right? And every Bahamian wanted their 100,000. Certainly neither the FNM or the PLP has made that promise, but they both then went on to say that we're going to look into the Sovereign Wealth Fund, we're going to make it happen. With that being said, do we expect that to happen under this administration? And do we have any idea of how that will look?
I think it should. I don't have any idea of how it will actually look in terms of whether or not the government will do anything specifically with it, but I think it should. I think both pieces of legislation that would have been advanced in the past 10 years have been woefully inadequate. They really need to tear those pieces up, both the one advanced by the previous FNM administration and the previous PLP administration. You need a sovereign wealth fund that is going to do a couple of things. One, we have to try to put in there some assets that are going to be not just exploited, but also assets that are going to be protected long term, right? The second thing is you're going to have to make sure that this sovereign wealth fund is expertly managed. I do think that that will mean that the government will have to be prepared to release managerial and executive control over the sovereign wealth fund. It will need to put in place, obviously, governance structures, but it will need to get away from the idea that it has to manage it, because then it simply becomes a part of the consolidated fund, right? Everything goes into that black hole. But the third thing that it has to do, a sovereign wealth fund, in my view, has to include what we would call the everyday man's expertise. So that may mean that literally there need to be some kind of lottery around who gets to sit on the board of advisors for the sovereign wealth fund in terms of tradespersons, professionals, different civil society group. Once you meet certain criteria, I do think it's important that there is much more inclusion, particularly for persons in the under 50 generations. I do think that you're going to have to get those persons involved in the thought process and the advisory process of the Sovereign Wealth Fund, because the reality is all of the stuff that has compounded the under 50 generation is really going to be the persons that are going to have to make or break how the Bahamas turns out over the next 15 to 20 years.
All right. So much said there. Always wonderful talking with both of you. Hubert Edwards, Principal of Next Level Solutions. Karlos Mackey, President of Money Max and Principal of Prime Financing. A great conversation with you both. I've had hope in the new day. I said, once they were elected, this is my government. I support them wholeheartedly. Some questions for me about the economics of it all. Grateful that you guys are able to bring some clarity. HE, love that you talked about readjusting priorities so that you're still working with what you can work with, but things might look a little different. And of course, Karlos, a wealth of information shared by you. And so we're grateful that you joined us on Bahamas at Sunrise. Wishing both of you a great day.
Same to you. It's a pleasure being here.
Absolutely, always, Star. Thank you so much for having us.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Have you heard about Trinity Christian Schools?
We are a family school located on Trinity Way, Stapleton Gardens. We offer quality Christian education from preschool to grade 6. Here are the reasons why you should choose Trinity Christian Schools.
We offer quality Christian education.
We are a family school.
Our teachers provide individual support.
Our class sizes are small.
We offer a safe and happy environment.
Our teachers are caring and experienced.
Join the Trinity family.
We want you to be a part of the Trinity Christian Schools.
Come join us.
We want you to be a part of our family.
Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. Thank you so much for tuning into today's episode of Bahamas at Sunrise. We wish you a beautiful day and a wonderful week.
I endorse that 110% and continue to be safe out there. Looking forward to how our new government is going to be shaping up today with the appointments, I think beginning this afternoon, Star. So
yeah. We got 8 to come this afternoon, and we'll see whether or not any of the predictions made on the show was correct. But whoever is put wherever they are put, we wish them all the best.
No doubt, no doubt.